Okay, so I guess we have 11 people, and I think we are good to start. Right. So today is the first day of our advanced Android development class. Let's see how advanced it actually goes. So we have Shubham, Falgun, Net, Ashish, Shivani, Prabkirat, Prabal, Saurabh, Deepika, and Akshay. So I'm audible, right? All good?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Nice. So what we're gonna do is today we'll start with solids, solid principles, and then we will, continue as per our curriculum. And the way we'll progress is I'll have some slides to share. I'll explain a bit of a theoretical part, what it is, what exactly it is, and then if we need, I'll show some diagrams, and then we will jump into the coding part. Okay, cool. So I guess we have good amount of people. So let me share my screen and give me a thumbs up once it's visible. Okay, visible, right? Cool. So just one clarification. So I am on macOS 26. So I guess there is some issues with the Teams. So sometimes it might be possible that screen sharing gets stopped automatically. Just speak it out loudly so I can understand and I'll reshare it. ठीक है. So what we're gonna do today is have a look at the first things, developers best friends, solid principles, and we're gonna have a look at these things. And we will use this repo. Don't worry about the repo for now. I will share, access and all these things later. But we're gonna write the code today into this repo. ठीक है. तो I assume before we start, I assume you know Kotlin things, some specific things related to Kotlin data classes and sealed classes, WAN, and those kinds of things, plus basics of the Android, basics of the Compose. So if you stuck somewhere, if you feel that, okay, this code is not making any sense at all to me, just raise your hand and ask me to, provide more clarifications. ठीक है. So usually this is for advanced experienced developer. So I will start with a solid. Otherwise, I would have started with the very basics. ठीक है. तो we're gonna start with a solid. Now everyone explains solids, and this is how it works. Birds examples, vehicle examples, and all these things, right? So if we have a look at these things, what is birds and what is how they implement the solids there. So this is, I think, I guess it's a tutorial focused things, and we're not gonna do these things because then what is the difference between us, right? So what we're gonna do is we will understand the solid, but I'll just give you a highlight. Ki I have some code that is not optimized for solid, and that is this report package. I'll explain the code as well, but I have some code which is not adhering the solid principles. We will look at each principle one by one and we will refactor the code so it can adhere to solid principles. But before we do, I just want to know, raise your hand. What is solid principles? Can anyone tell me what are the solid principles? Why do we even need these things? Just raise your hand. Let's make it interactive. Right, wrong, true, false, anything? Yes, Deepika, please.
So solid principles make our architecture more clear, and it makes our life easy, even in a developer's perspective and even on the performance side. So when
Mhm,
it is a solid, so single responsibility principle, O
mhm,
for open closed,
mhm,
L for list co substitution principle,
mhm,
and I for interface segregation,
mhm.
and D for dependency interaction. Sorry, dependency injection related thing, dependency principle
Yes, cool. Dependency inversion.
inversion.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, awesome, cool. Thanks, Deepika.
the
So yeah,
screen sharing part can closed. It seems.
Good. Okay. Yes, cool. That was the right answer. Anyone else would like to share anything on top of this? Yeah, you can load down the hand, Deepika. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share, yeah, like your experience? Prob, yes.
Yeah, sorry, I accidentally did that. Sorry. Please continue.
Your voice was not audible to me. What you were saying? You were saying something? I guess no. Okay. Maybe he's rejoining. Anyone else? Solid thing? Okay. Yeah, he's joining again. Uh, I guess he joined. Maybe. Okay. Okay. So let's start. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a look at the theoretical part first. So SOLID is an acronym for the first five object-oriented design principles by Robert C. Martin, also known as Uncle Bob. So there was this software engineer guy called Robert C. Martin, or popularly known as Uncle Bob as well. He was a software engineer. So he created around 2000, I guess, 25 years ago. So he wrote a book, and in this book he mentioned ki, okay, the folks should be following these kinds of things in the software development, and this really makes the software development easy. Okay, so he mentioned some of the concepts. Then these concepts were later built by Michael Feathers, and who introduced this word called solid. Okay, and what the solid does, I will see each of them. What it does, it encourages us to create more maintainable, understandable, and flexible software. Okay, now why solid? The S stands for, as Deepika rightly mentioned, so single responsibility, open close principle, list of substitution, interface segregation, and dependency inversion. So this is what solid does. But the first things is, why do we need solid? Can't we, write any code without solid? Who is stopping me? So the answer is no one. No one is stopping you. But try to understand it like this way. For example, let's say you are building a home. Okay, and how would you ideally do is, like you are building like a door here, some window here, and some rooftop here, like this. Okay, you add a rooftop here like this and some window here. Now, if you want to keep the window just below the door, no one is going to stop you. It's your home, right? You can do whatever you want. It's fine. But the things is, it's not scalable. Now, if you want to add one more window, nearby, first of all, it looks very bad, right? Your home looks very bad, very ugly. Whoever comes to home, they will see like, okay, just door ke bazu mein hi it's a window, so it's bad. Okay, so ideally, what you may want to do is you want to keep the window in a proper position. Okay, something like this. Now, if you want to add another window on another side, you can simply add it here, like this. So this is what we called architecture, right? So this architecture and design principles and sort of basically they achieve similar kinds of things. If you write spaghetti code, no one is going to stop you, but that code is not maintainable. If someone from someone joins in a team and they see this code, they will find it really difficult to understand. Plus, if you want to make a new changes to the code, you will face difficulties. So that is why we do not write these kinds of code. Just like we organize the things, everywhere in the home, in the kitchen, in the office, everywhere. Similarly, we should properly organize the code as well. So around these concepts, everything is born: architecture, design patterns, solid principles, Yagni, keys, dry. All the principles are around this simple thinking to keep your code clean. Okay, now to keep your code clean, there are a few ways. Solid is one of them. Solid is one of them of ways to keep your code clean. And solid consists of five things. Okay, so सबसे पहले I'll show you the code. So forget about all these main activities and all these things. And there it's written in a compose, and it extend navigations, and it will show me the home screen. So all these things are of no use for today's session. I'll show you. So essentially, let's get a build. Mhm. I'll first show you the bad code, because the best way to learn is see the bad code, refactoring. Okay. So forget these and this button. Just focus on this generate report button. So what we're gonna do is when we click on this generate button, we will see something printed in the logcat. So if I run these things, you can see fetching the report data from a database, formatting report as a CSV. Sorry, huh? Yes, formatting report as a CSV, saving report to this file, and then report saved successfully. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on this report part. Okay, forget DI and all these things for today's session. So when I click on this report button, what it does, let me show you. So when I click on it, yeah, it clicks on generate report, click, and essentially on generate report, click. Just give me a second. And on generate report, click. Uh, second, Tom, I guess where is the navigation? Yes, view model. Sorry, view. So what it does, it use report generator dot generate report. Okay, it provides the files where report needs to be generated and the type of the report. So report generator is a class inside this package. So we have report generator class. So two types of the reports can be provided. Either you provide CSV report or special report. Now this report generator implements the report table interface. Okay, interface and implementation pattern, right? Report table is interface. It has two duties. It can generate the report. It can generate the report. Sorry, it's kind of yes, you can generate the report and you can print the report. Now report generator implements these things. So it needs to override generate report and दूसरी method कहाँ गई? Print report. Okay. So what the generate report does, it fetch the data from the database. Try to understand the flow. It fetch the data from database. Okay. And what is this fetch from the database? It's another function. It logs something, then it get the monthly sales data. So this is a regular class. This is concrete implementation. In real application, it might be room database or networking or whatever. So this functions gives you some data. Okay, so it grabs the data. It grabs the contents of the data. So data is basically it's a map of a string and integer. So it get the entries from the map and then return the report. तो रिपोर्ट में क्या चीज है? इट हैज टू थिंग्स, टाइटल एंड कंटेंट. Okay, now it returns a report. Now we got a report data here. Now what we're gonna do is based on the formatter, we're gonna format the data. Okay, so we have another functions called format. So we pass a report and we pass a report type. ठीक है, तो if it's a CSV, we will use a CSV exporter. ठीक है, तो report type जो भी आता है उसके बेस पे we we have defined one thing called exporter. ठीक है, so this exporter will format the data. If the CSV report is there, we will use CSV exporter class. If a special report is there, we will use a special exporter. Okay, like this. So we'll get the exporter and we'll do some logic and then we'll do the exporter dot export. तो ये क्या देता है आपको? String देता है. This will give you the formatted string. Then you are saving it to file. Okay, you are saving it to finally file. So you can see report saved successfully. So you are seeing up to this point. Okay, let me just take it like this. And let me shorten it as well. Okay, so this is the thing that is happening. So flow is clear, right? It's a simple. You click on a report generator and report generator will create an instance of a database. And it call a generate report. Generate report will call this fetch report data. It will then the data will be formatted and then it will be saved to file. So flow is simple. Okay, up to this point. ये क्या हो गया? ठीक है, तो it's clear, right? Any questions into the flow that what we are doing? All clear? Okay, I guess it's all clear. So it's a simple. I don't know why there is a constant sound. Uh, ठीक है. Okay, sorted. So this is the simple flow. Now this class intentionally violates all of the solid principles. Okay, it violates all of the solid principles. Okay, this is intentional because we want to refactor. Now ठीक है. Can I mean can any one of you spot any violations here? Just simple violations or anything? The
Yeah.
screen is
It's fetching and generating both and formatting as well.
Mm, yes. So I guess someone was saying so. Okay, one thing. Whoever answers, tell me what principle it is violating and how. I mean, someone said ki it's fetching and generating. So which principle it is violating and like how? How matlab ki okay, it's fetching and generating. That is how. And what principle? So just raise your hand and answer this way. So okay, raise your hand. I'll come to you. ठीक है. Prabal, yes, you can answer.
Yeah, basically this is violating the single responsibility because it is doing all things like formatting, generating, and printing the. So for a single responsibility is basically for one class is responsible for one change to change one region to change. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it is basically violating the first principle of solid.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yes, cool, cool. You can note down the end. Thanks. Anyone else want to say anyone on this part? I,
We lost your sharing.
oh, sorry. I guess I need to somehow fix it. I don't know how. Okay, should be visible now. Right. Cool. So this is violating the first principle. Okay. So because it's generating and it's formatting and all these things it's doing. So and it in anything else it violates? Just one. I'll just take one answer and then we'll move on. Anyone else is able to see ki what else it's violating?
Uh, it's violating the open close principle in the format report.
Okay.
So it's generating like changing the same function for each kind of report for exporting.
Mm. So it's changing the same kinds of functions for reporting. Yes, so it's violating the control principle as well. Yes, correct.
Your voice is down.
Hello, hello. Is it good now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. So let's see the different types of the violations that is happening and let's understand it. So the first things inside the solid is single responsibility. Okay. So what it says that a class should have only one reason to change. So essentially, it should have one job to do. A class should have single responsibility. If a class handles multiple responsibilities, a change in one may break the other, and it leads to low cohesion and hard to test the code. So why this principle is broken here? Because this is a report generator. So it's generating the report, fetching the data, and it's formatting it and it's saving to the file as well. So it's doing a whole lot of things itself, generating the report, the another things, fetching the report data, it's formatting and then saving it to file. So it's a performing multiple responsibility. Okay. So giving a class multiple responsibility is not a good because a class should be only responsible for doing one thing that it is supposed to do. This is report generator, so it should generate the report. What it has to do with formatting the data. I mean, if it's a generator, it has nothing to do with the formatting, right? So this is how the single responsibility interface, sorry, principle is being violated here. So we're gonna fix that thing. And SRP, that means single responsibility principle, ensure classes remain focused, reusable, and maintainable. Okay, so class should be focused, and it does not mean ki, okay, if it's a class, then it should only have a single method. It's single responsibility principle does not say ki it should only have a single method and nothing else. Essentially, all the functions, that are related for this class to work, that should be inside this class. It could be n number of functions, but they should be related, and required for the class to work. So this is what SRP says. And you can connect this with analogy that don't make your activity a kitchen sink. In a kitchen sink, you have everything at once and everything together. You don't want to make a class like this, your kitchen sink. You can, in a kitchen sink, you can have everything. So we're gonna refactor this code. We will refactor this report generator, and then, we will make it into certain way that it follows the solid principles. I mean, it does not violate the single responsibility principle. ठीक है. So let's try to do it. Okay, I'll try to do it. If you have any questions, or if you think that, okay, let's do this way we will discuss. So the first thing is it has a database. Okay, so generate report. It is report generator, so it needs to generate the report. So we are giving it a file and we are giving it the type. So, do you think what can be removed from this class if I show you, the exact structure? Uh, where is this show structure thing, man? I guess here and structure. Yes. So this class is something like this. It has a fetch report data, format, save to files, and print report. So what can be removed from this class? Do you think any things can be removed from this class? Any functionality we can remove?
I think
Without
save to
sharing.
files we should remove.
Sorry, I guess my screen sharing was stopped again. I'm really sorry. Yes. So it's visible, right? I guess again
Yeah.
it will. Okay. So this is the things we have in the report generator. So mere ख्याल से let's do one thing. Let's see all the solid principles, understand it, and then we will do the refactoring. That will be really easier for us to do. So this is solid. I mean, sorry, single responsibility. The next is a open closed. So what do we mean by open close principle is entities should be open for extension, but closed for modification. So instead of editing existing code for a new requirements, add new functionality via inheritance, polymorphism, or composition. Okay, it prevents introducing new bugs in a stable code. So where this principle is getting what to say violated. So someone pointed out, right, in the format function, what's happening is there is this exporter. So for particular type of a report, we are using particular type of a exporter. Okay. So let's say tomorrow I add another types of a report called, let's say, PDF report. Okay. So in this case, if a new things is added, I need to touch this report generator again, right? Our focus is report generator class. So I need to touch this class again because I need to, make when explicit like this. Okay. And I need to add whatever PDF exporter I'm going to create, something like this. So what's happening? This class is now open for modification, which it should not be. It should not be open for modification. If you want to extend it, you should be able to do it, but the class should not be open for modification, which we are doing. We are modifying the class. So we have identified it violates the open close principle as well. Another analogy could be, don't, if you have a pizza and you want to add a toppings on it, don't just, modify the, create a new pizza that we are doing here. rather just add topping on top of it. So we will see how to add PDF on top of this class. We will fix it. The third principle is a Liskov substitution. So it means subclasses must be replaceable with their base classes without altering the correctness or behavior. Okay. So if you have a class, like let me show you this. Okay, so we have yes, we have an exporter. Okay, we have two type of exporter. CSV exporter and special report exporter, which we are using here. Okay. Now, what's happening is this function, this class defines and functions called export. Okay, and it returns some string. Now, this is a CSV exporter, and which extend this class, so it needs to override the export method, which it is doing, and it is returning a string. So the caller of this function, caller is here, will expect that the CSV exporter will also return a string. Okay, which it is doing. The another implementation called special exporter is returning the string. That is fine. But if the report does not contain the pipe symbol, it does not contain the pipe symbol, that means it will throw an illegal argument exception, which means it will broke the functionality. If someone is calling the exporter, I mean, if someone do like this, like let's say I have a main, well, exporter equal to exporter, sorry, if, if I do something like this, exporter, okay, and this is the parent class of this special exporter, so I can cast it like this. Okay, so what I would expect from the exporter dot class is I would expect it to work with these things. But what will happen is this pipe symbol will throw an exception, and it will not return me a string which I was expecting. So the contract is broken here. The what it is saying, subclasses, that is this one, must be replaceable with their base classes. Must be, content could be different, but the promise should not broken. The promise here is it will return a string. Okay, but in this case, promise is broken, so it will not return a string. It will throw an exception. So if it happens, that means it's a violation of Liskov substitution. Okay, and which is what is happening here. Is this making sense? The Liskov substitution violation? Anyone wants to ask, or it's clear? Okay, I'll frequently, I'll keep asking this because I need to take care of everyone. Okay, so I guess it's clear. So let me do this. So subclasses must be replaceable with their parent classes without altering the behavior. Here the behavior is altered. Key, it's a it's throwing something. Which is something we have seen. An analogy is if it walks like a bird, it must act like a bird. So one another interesting things related to bird is, let's say if you have a interface called bird, okay, and it has a functions called fly. Okay, I really love this example. So you have this function. Let's define our bird called a parrot. Okay, parrot is what? Parrot is a bird, right? Parrot is a bird, so it can fly. Okay, I could do something like this. Parrot is flying. I could do something like this, and I can have n number of birds like this. Parrot and peacock like this. Now, if I create an implementation of this bird in my main class like this, so let's say if I have a main class like this, and I do something like this key, well, parrot equal to parrot, but I specify the type as a bird. Okay, so what I'm expecting from this bird is to fly, parrot dot fly. Okay, now this is fine. Now what when it will gets broken is ostrich, right? You all of you knows ostrich. Ostrich is essentially a bird, right? It's what? It's a bird. So can I do something like this class ostrich and it's a bird and implements member? What to do here? Can ostrich fly? It cannot fly, right? So this is broken contrast. So if it does not fly, so we need to throw it, but it cannot fly, right? All of you knows that this guy, super beautiful guy cannot fly. You know all of these things, but it's a technically it's a bird. So this contract is broken here. Okay, so this list cost substitution is broken here. This child class is not directly substitutable by its parent class or interface. Okay, तो ये यहाँ पर broke होता है. List cost substitution. So this is why this bird example. I guess it's a clear. ठीक है. Going on to the next one is interface segregation. What
So
does it
how
mean?
to handle that bird example in the scenario?
Yeah, we'll see how to handle all of this principle at once.
Okay.
I mean, after I'll explain the theory, I'll explain. I mean, we'll practically we'll handle it. Okay, cool. The fourth problem or fourth principle is interface segregation. What does it mean? It says no client should be forced to implement method it does not use, especially if the large and fat matlab interface which have a whole many things associated with it. So they are sort of a large and fat interface. It creates unnecessary dependencies. So let's take an example of this where it is a reportable. Yes. So this interface is called reportable. What it does, it generates the report and prints the report. Now, if you see the implementation called report generator, what functionality it is supposed to do? Only generate the report. Okay. But this report generator is not supposed to print the report, right? Printing can be handled by someone else. It only has to do with report generation. Okay. It does not need to deal with a print report. So, this is empty in a practical scenario, it might throw in exceptions as well like this because it does not need to do these things or it don't know how to do it. So it is not a responsibility of a report generator to print the report. So this interface is a fat interface. Okay. This interface is because it exposes a functionality that only few of the clients need, few of don't need. For example, if I have a class called report saver like this, and I implement the reportable. So what this class is supposed to do is it only supposed to print the report. Okay, or I mean I name it like report printer. So it only supposed to print the report, but not the generate report. So this is redundant functionality. Okay. So this is the violation of interface segregation principle. No client should be forced to implement method it does not use. But here we are forcing, even if they do not provide implementation or do not, at least throw exception, we are forcing them to at least override this method. That means violation of interface segregation principle. And analogy could be don't give one remote to 50 buttons, rather give separate remote for TVs and ACs. Don't have a, what if someone gives you remote which has a 50 buttons? One few buttons control TV, few button controls AC, few buttons control your fan. It's a really terrible, right? So instead of this, what do? You just have a separate remote for each of the functionality. One for TV, one for AC, one for fan. So this is how you solve this interface segregation. We'll see these things. And the fifth is a dependency inversion principle. High level modules should not depend on low level modules. High level modules should not depend on low level modules, and both should depend on abstraction. Okay. So if you see this report generator class, this class is depending on this concrete implementation directly here. Okay, it should depending on the concrete implementation called database. So for example, let's say database is a interface, just for example. And if I want to provide a different implementation for this interface, I cannot do it because this report generator class is defining this instance within itself. बाहर से मैं इसको pass नहीं कर सकता, right? I cannot pass any database from here. Okay. So this is the issue with this class. Okay. It's depending on concrete implementation like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this concrete implementation. We will make it to depends on the abstract version, मतलब abstract class or interface, and then, so we can pass it. Okay, and analogy could be plugged into a socket, not directly into the power grid. Okay, so just do what you need, not directly go. Power grid is a concrete examples where the powers are generated, but you know your connection to the power, you are not plugging the pin into the whole power grid itself. You are plugging into the socket that is available into your home. Okay, so this is what dependency inversion is happening, is known as. So all of the 5 solid is being broken here. So अपनी responsibility है, we need to fix this. We want to, fix the whole solid fiasco here. Okay, and that is something we're gonna do. Before we proceed, any questions, any concern up to this point of explanation? Anything you want to share or like question? Oh, nice, all good. Okay, I guess it's all good. Okay, okay. Let's go and let's fix these kinds of things. तो कहाँ से start करेंगे? Let's start from smaller classes like this, wherever these things, and then we will refine this. तो सबसे पहले issue कहाँ हो रहा था? The first things was interface segregation यहाँ पर violate हो रहा था, right? Because this is a fat interface which is exposing two things. It is unnecessary forcing this print report as well. तो एक काम करते हैं, how to solve this interface segregation. Let me show you the principle as well. How to solve this? So instead of having a fat interface like this, divide it into smaller interfaces that expose a particular functionality. Okay, so इस reportable को we will divide it like let's say कि interface and then we can define interface like this, interface reportable. ठीक है, इतना रखते हैं like this. Now we will we will create a smaller interface and उसको क्या बोलेंगे कि we will, let's call it report generator. We will call report generator. Okay, and which will extend the reportable because it has to do something with a report. तो ये जो functions है, this interface will expose one functionality called generate report and nothing else. Okay, दूसरा एक interface बनाएंगे called report printer. Okay, again it has to do something with a report. So that's why I created a parent interface like this. I mean, if you want to avoid it, you can simply do so, but it has to, both of these two things has to do something with a report. So I created it. Now this interface will expose generate report and this will expose print report. Okay, so let me rename it to report generator IMPL. It's a concrete implementation, right? So this will depends on report generator. Okay, this concrete implementation will depends on report generator. Okay, it depends on report generator. So now this method is not forced into it. Okay, so अभी जो भी आपका like whatever you have report printer है IMPL, so on that part you will not enforce this generation part. So you will only enforce the printing part. तो अपन ने क्या किया, एक large interface को we divided a large interface into two parts, generate report and print report. So these things we have solved, interface segregation. Okay, it's pretty clear, right? And pretty easy to understand. Just simply divide your interface into smaller chunks that each expose a particular functionality. instead of it exposing everything in a single interface like this. तो अभी किसी के ऊपर burden नहीं आएगा. Just to ask, man, all of you are fine with a bit of a Hindi as well, right? Do we have anyone who don't know Hindi at all? Not even a single bit. Okay, cool, nice. ठीक है, sorted. So this is something we have solved. We have solved the interface segregation. तो इसका काम खत्म. ठीक है. Now let's move on to the next one.
So Rajesh,
Yes, please.
we could have done this without the 10th line, na? Interface reportable.
This one. Yes, you could do this as well.
Yeah, my question is, what are the scenarios where we should do it the way you have done it right now?
What are the scenarios where you should do it like this way?
The way you have done it, yeah.
Okay, so in the scenarios can occur like, let's say you have one interface which has to this reportable. Sorry, I know issue. Okay, so there might be scenario कि all the reports has to conform to something. For example, each report has to let me think through it. Ki what it can be do. Each reports can be report generator plus report printer. They want to check whether sorry, generator will generate the report and printer will print the report. So let me hypothetically think is valid report. Both of them needs to check that whether this report is valid or not. Okay, both of them needs to check that this report is valid or not. So in this case, in this case you can have something like this. Whatever the common functionality is there,
Understood, yeah.
keep them here, and then
Okay.
separate functionalities, keep them into separate things.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Got it. ठीक है. I'll just do the println instead of a to do, so it does not just throw an exception, because to do will throw an exception. ठीक है, तो I guess it's clear.
Basically,
Okay.
for expiry date validation or such, we can use this thing, right?
Yes, any sort of a
Okay,
functionality that you want in both of these in classes.
Cool. Yeah.
ठीक है. Okay, cool. Sorted. So the segregation is resolved now. Okay. Now if we see, let's see. Okay, so exporter. Yes, even the exporter was causing the issue. Who else is causing the issue? Report. ये तो data class है normal, no issues. इसका solve कर दिया. यहाँ पर we are yet to solve a few things. So only the interface segregation is solved. Now let's solve these things. Dependency inversion. Yes. So dependency inversion के case में what's happening is this class is this class is creating a concrete implementation within it, which it should not do. Rather, what it should do is instead of this, let me have like this class, interface, and this is a database implementation. Okay, and it will expose only function like this. So ये उसका implementation हो गया, and this is sorry, it needs to it's database like this, override, and okay. ठीक है, तो as of now database IMPL, the type is database. Okay, so ठीक है, it's still valid, right? We have interface and its implementation, it's still valid. But what's happening is this class report generator IMPL is depending on the concrete implementation. This is a concrete implementation. Rather, what it should do, it should depends on the abstraction. Abstraction matlab ye interface. Interface is your contract. Okay, you give a contract and you are exposing a contract. Contract means when callers call this method, they will get a map of a string and integer. Okay, now how the map is constructed, what is the content of a map, that caller has nothing to do. They will just get a map of a string and integer that is known as a contract. So this class is depending on this class directly, this implementation directly, which it should avoid. It should depends on क्या बोलते हैं contract. तो इसको refactor कैसे कर सकते हैं? How do you do handle the dependency inversion? Using the dependency injection mechanism. तो क्या करेंगे? What are we gonna do? Is we gonna expect, we will expect the database classes only. I mean, we will depends on abstraction. Key this class will depends on abstraction. So whoever wants to provide their own abstraction, they can do it. इसकी functionality यहाँ पर चलती रहेगी. Okay, get monthly sales date will be continue to work. Now if today someone provides this database implementation, तो इसका use कैसे है? देखो, let me show you. In the home screen, I'm gonna use this. Okay, now it's caller responsibility to provide the database. Now callers can provide whatever the database want. For example, they create something like this, like a real database, and they create the database actual implementation. Let's call it, let me just call it real database implementation. Okay, and they can provides like this. Okay, so report generation IMPL does not directly depends on the implementation, they depends on the contract. ठीक है, तो here I want to provide the real implementation. हो सकता है कि in a testing or in some other possible scenario, I want to provide another implementation. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll just create a test implementation, like something like a sorry, test database IMPL, and यहाँ पर मैं सिर्फ test data भेजूंगा to 1. Okay, nothing else. This is my test data. Okay, so now the report generator class only depends on the database. It has nothing to do whether you provide the real implementation or test implementation. Okay, if the caller wants, they can provide the test database as well. It's their call. Okay, but report generator should not throw any error key. Why are you providing a test database? Why are you providing a real database? It should have nothing to do with concrete implementation. This should be caller's call. They should only depends on the contract, that is abstraction of an interface. ठीक है, तो the second thing is clear, dependency inversion. इसको अभी कोई फरियाद नहीं है, जो भी database implementation पास होगा, it's happy with that. Any questions on this solution? Okay, I guess it's clear. ठीक है, तो this is sorted. Now what? Now 3 things remain to sorted: list को substitution, open close and single responsibility. ठीक है, तो इसको पकड़ते हैं open close को. ठीक है, तो see this. Now this class has generate report and it has a fetch report. Single responsibility will take later. And formatting. Now for the formatting, what's happening is we are providing a report type, and then we are providing the type as well. Now let's say tomorrow we are expanding the types of the report along with the CSV and special. We are providing the PDF type as well. We want the we need to raise the funds. Our CEO has asked to provide the PDF report functionality, and we want to do these things. Now in this case, if I add a new report type, I need to go and modify the generator. Okay, because here when needs to be exhaustive, so I need to go and I need to write the PDF extractor like this. तो ये class हो गया open for modification, which it should not be. Now this class is open for modification. मान लो कि what if you need to do anything, you want to add any report type, then you need to again modify this class. Okay, but this generator should not be responsible. This generator should not be modified when you want to just format a new report. So how do you solve these things? Okay, so this is the issue, and now we're gonna solve this issue. we have new PDF type. So instead of editing existing code for a new requirements, add a new functionality via inheritance, polymorphism, or compositions, and it prevent introducing new bugs in a stable code. This is already a stable code, right? तो यहाँ पर कुछ modify करना is a risky. तो what we can do is एक काम करते हैं, ये जो फॉर्मेट मेथड है उस पे what we are getting is we are getting a report and we are getting a report type. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर वो करने से पहले let's do something like this कि let's extract this formatting functionality. तो क्या करेंगे, let's do something like this, something like एक सेकेंड ना, let's call it a formatter file. Okay, I'll create an interface called formatter. Okay, what this interface is supposed to do is this basically we will extract out this whole things from this class to outside, बाहर ले लेंगे इसको ताकि यहाँ पर कुछ ना करना पड़े. ठीक है, तो we will use formatter. ठीक है, तो formatter पे what we need is we can have a function. एक function बना देते हैं called format. This will take a report and this will take the report type. Okay, this will take a report and this will take the report type. तो इसका implementation बना देते हैं, मान लो कि interface formatter, sorry, CSV formatter, and which is a formatter like this. Sorry, it should be a class CSV formatter. IMPL ऐसा लिख देता हूँ मैं. ठीक है, तो it needs to format. Okay, तो ये क्या करेगा, ये करेगा this will yes, and after the formatting we should return a string, right? तो we should return a string. ठीक है, तो ये functions भी it should return a string. So what the CSV formatter will do, I'll just copy it, I mean like this. It will return something like this. So this is a CSV formatter. दूसरा एक बनाते हैं PDF formatter. Let's call it a PDF formatter IMPL, which is also type of a formatter. Format करेंगे and just इसमें append कर देते हैं like this CSV formatter IMPL. I'm just giving it a name like this, and this is PDF formatter. And तीसरा बना देते हैं जो भी formatter है like this, sorry, special format. ठीक है, like this we have three types of formatters and it sorry. Okay, so this is the special type of a formatter. तो यहाँ पर क्या करेंगे, instead of having this when here, what we can do is we can have a functionality like this. I mean, let's call it just call it a report format. ठीक है, इसको मैं ऐसे नाम दे देता हूँ कि let's call it a report formatter. And now we will what we're gonna do is we're gonna it has a format method, so we're gonna all of these things can do format. तो यहाँ पर क्या करेंगे, I guess एक to extract out this logic from here, maybe we can create a factory, and this factory can do the formatting. So for example, let's create a class called report formatter factory. Report formatter factory. So let's say get formatter type like this, and I'll do like this. So what is a factory is used? So factory, all of you knows a concepts behind a factory. I mean, at least a physical factory. So physical factory में what happens is this is your factory is running, industrial area is there. It's there are some chimneys, they are smoking some smokes, and what you do is you insert some raw material into factory. You insert some raw material into factory, and factory will process it, and then you will get the output. You'll get the output. So this is what factory method does. It is basically design pattern, right?
Not audible.
Hello.
Yeah, it is now it's fine.
Now it's fine, right? Cool. So factory is a design pattern. ठीक है, तो क्या करेंगे उस पे? There is a factory. Factory is basically used to hide the implementation. Hide the implementation. So you give some raw material and something will happen and you will get the output. Okay. तो यहाँ पर आपको क्या मिलेगा? This is a factory. So this factory can gives you the actual formatter for your type. Actual formatter for your type. ठीक है. तो एक सेकेंड. Yes, it will give you the actual formatter for your type. So you give it a type. So now it can provide CSV, PDF and spatial. तो अभी ये जो factory है, this is something we can use here. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पर क्या करेंगे? मान लो I'm hard coding it for now, like something like this, factory equal to factory. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पर क्या करेंगे? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do factory dot get formatter. I'm gonna pass my report type and then एक सेकेंड. अच्छा ठीक है, एक्सपोर्टर ऑलरेडी बना हुआ है, राइट? तो डॉट एक्सपोर्ट, तो लेट्स कॉल इट अ फॉर्मेटर इंस्टेड ऑफ एक्सपोर्टर. ठीक है, तो हम फॉर्मेटर लाइक दिस, इसको हटा देते हैं. तो फॉर्मेटर डॉट फॉर्मेट. अच्छा ठीक है, तो एक सेकेंड है, इसमें रिपोर्ट टाइप नहीं लेते हैं. लेट्स जस्ट टेक द रिपोर्ट इटसेल्फ like this. We'll do the iterations because type is not required, right? Because this can only process the simple type. So I can do something like this. Exporter को अभी भूल जाओ, exporter को हटा ही देते हैं. Where is it? Is I guess it's no longer used. Right? ठीक है. So this is not used as well. Okay. ठीक है. तो exporter के बदले अपन ने क्या कर दिया? मतलब again to introduce these things, Lisco substitution में मैं यहाँ पर ये एरर फेंक देता हूँ, like there is formatter. Yes, so in the special type like this, so this will violate the Lisco. ठीक है, तो exporter को अभी भूल जाओ. तो generator में see what happens is I am creating a factory and then based on the factory I am retrieving the formatter. ठीक है, and then I'm modifying the reports, and then I am calling the formatter dot format. So now if I tomorrow add a new things like this, any, okay, or let's say I invent a special kinds of report dot Rajesh extension, okay, this class now has nothing to do with these things, okay, because these things is being taken care by this one. तो यहाँ पर चेंज होगा, रिपोर्ट जनरेटर को उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. ठीक है, तो उसकी फंक्शनैलिटी से तो सेम ही रहेगी, क्योंकि एक फैक्ट्री के थ्रू अपन ले रहे हैं, तो ये फैक्ट्री की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ये करने की, जनरेटर को इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. तो दिस इज हाउ वी हैव सॉल्व्ड दिस ओपन क्लोज प्रिंसिपल. ठीक है, मतलब now we don't need any type of modifications even if you add anything into report types. तो ये पार्ट क्लियर है, this open close wala principle, three things clear? Any questions here? ठीक है, तो this things applies here. This is responsibility of factory, not this class.
We lost sharing.
Okay, I'll do the share. Yes, but okay, so it's all clear for everyone. Just give me a thumbs up if it is, so I can ठीक है, I can see the Falgun has, okay, Falgun has, okay, ठीक है, sorted. I guess it's sorted. Cool. Sorted for everyone. So let's do one thing. Two things remains. The Lisco substitution, which is being violated here. Exporter को ही में बंद ठीक है. I'll create it here ताकि फॉर्मेटर पे ही डाल देता हूँ ये, ताकि you can have a idea. बाकी इस फाइल को ही मैं उड़ा देता हूँ. I'll simply remove this exporter file just to save some naming convention. ठीक है. Okay, so we have formatter and report generator. ठीक है, तो 3 things we have solved: interface segregation, dependency inversion, and open close principle. What remains is Lisco substitution, which is being violated here. This is a special kind of report, and the single responsibility. तो वो भी अपन धीरे धीरे करके remove कर देंगे. So 2 things remains. I guess it's a 10:07 p.m. So let's do one thing. Let's take a short 10-minute break. So you can get some refreshment. I will keep the recording on and screen on. I'll pause the audio. Let's just take a 10 minutes and we will be back by around 10:17. Okay, don't leave the meeting. Just mute it and you can just go outside. We will come again on 10:17. Mm, okay, so I'm back. Is everyone back? Can we restart from where we left off? Just a thumbs up would be fine. Okay, Akshay is there, Nat is there, Shubham is there, and Shivan is there. Nice. Okay, sharing my screen again. Mm, Probably today I will, try to update the OS, so screen sharing issue can be fixed. Okay, so we had seen three things. Open close is solved, interface segregation solved, dependency inversion is solved. What remains is list code substitution and single responsibility. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna solve this list code substitution. तो ये क्या यहाँ पर break हो रहा है यहाँ पर it's getting break here special report formatter because see how I'll tell you uh, there is this interface called report formatter, okay, which expect a report type. Report is contains title content. ठीक है तो CSV formatter and PDF formatter are working as expected. They are returning a string. Now this class is saying that okay, I will accept the report. I will try to I will try to format the report, and I will you know it is it implies that this class will try to format the report, but as you can see in the behavior the issue is if it does not contain the delimiter pipe delimiter. By the way, this is called pipe pipe, right? So it does not contain the pipe symbol. It will throw an exception which is not valid things, because it is saying that okay, I will process this report, but it can throw an exception. So this is not directly replaceable with this, okay, because if you use it and it does not contains this, you will get this error. So how do you solve this Liskov substitution? Okay, so there are multiple types of a solution available in programming. We have multiple types of solutions available. You should use whatever best fits to your solution. The first solution is do not conform to the interface at all. मतलब उसका क्या मतलब है कि you have your report formatter which should format it. Okay, so this is the strict requirement कि it should format this. So if this class is completely different, do not conform to that thing. Okay, and have some other kinds of interface, and then use that interface, but do not conform to this interface. So now whoever is conforming to this interface, they are guaranteed to follow it. ठीक है, तो एक solution हो गया. Another solutions can be explicit. ठीक है, so explicit, how do you be explicit? For example, let's say कि this is taking a report. तो मान लो कि एक special type का और report बनाते हैं. Let's call it data class special report, which the report. Okay, I need to pass a title and I need to pass content as well. I need to override and I need to override what it says. Okay, yes. So it is saying me this title in a report is a final and cannot be overridden. So how do I override these two data class properties? Can anyone tell me? Here I'm not able to override these two things, and I'm not even able to extend this report class. Why so, and how to solve this Kotlin related thing?
Show this open.
Sorry.
Make it open.
Yep. So
Open.
by default, yes, correct, cool. So by default, Kotlin classes are final, right? So if you use a open, let's see what happens. I use like this. I use open, this, and then this. So these two things are working. Now, ये क्या issue दे रहा है? It says that modifier open is incompatible with data. So if I remove this, then this issue. If I add this, if I remove the data, it works fine. So the issue is, the data classes are not a good candidate for inheritance. Okay, because with the reason is they override two string, they override equals, and they override this copy method. They have this copy method, which is not, which does not makes it a good candidate. There is, I think, a nice article from the Kotlin team. Data classes, let me find it, are not good for inheritance. I guess एक अच्छा खासा there was articles, I will read it somewhere. uh, so I think I need to find it. uh, Kotlin data classes are not good for inheritance. Why doesn't Kotlin with data classes? Yes, I guess this Reddit class will do it. Okay, I'll just share the link with you. So data classes are not good candidate for inheritance because they have this uh, method. They overrides the method. ये किसने भेजा? चलिए शुरू करते हैं. Nice. I am the meme guy, so keep sending these kinds of things. ठीक है. Sorted. So you can go and have a look. So instead of a data class, if we make it regular class, things are working fine, right? So the only things is we are missing these things like copy methods and two strings and equals methods and those kinds of things, but it's fine. So we created a special report. So and it can have called a delimiter as well. Delimiter the type string defaulting to pipes. Sorry, defaulting to क्या बोलते हैं pipe symbol. And delimiter. Yes. So what we define is we define called a special report. तो ये जो formatter है, यहाँ पर what we can do instead of dealing with a report type, we can explicitly say कि if the report is not a special report, we will throw an error like this, and then we will continue the processing. So here you are being explicit. You are no longer just dealing with a report. Okay, you are specifying that okay, if the report is not a special report, then I'm not going to work. तो ऐसा implicitly convey नहीं होता कि ठीक है like okay, this works on the report but then throws error. No, it explicitly stating कि if the report is not a special report, then I'll be throwing this exception. Okay, and then if it's a special report, then it will continue to do it. ठीक है, तो अभी यहाँ पर आप देखोगे ना, तो I will have a delimiter access as well. Like I could have like this report dot delimiter. See, this property is now accessible despite the type is a report. Report में ये कहाँ पर नहीं है देखो. But here I have checked that if the report is not a special report, so I will throw exception. So compiler is smart enough to understand that from this point, report is definitely going to be special report. So that is why I can access report.delimiter from here, from this object. Okay, so this is some compiler goodies. So here we are explicit, so you can tell this way as well. Now this will result into runtime issues. I mean runtime errors. If you are fine with that, well and good. And basically, I mean compile time पे कुछ फटेगा नहीं, right? Compile time पे nothing will get reported. At the runtime, if you call special report formatter with a regular report, then it will throw an exception. So this is another way of handling the list cost substitution. Now also see the third way of handling this using a compile time checking. Okay, what do you mean by compile time checking? That means if you want to call this, you have to have provide the special report and nothing else. You cannot provide this one. तो कैसे करेंगे? Let's add generics का mix मचाला. Okay, तो ये जो अपना रिपोर्ट है, ये जो अपना रिपोर्ट फॉर्मेटर है, उसको बना देते हैं generics. If you make it generic like this, something like this, let's say you make it a generic. and your formatter functions will take the generic type. What it will take? Okay, okay. Before I proceed, everyone is familiar with the generics, right? If I assume correctly, everyone should be familiar with the generics. Do we have anyone who don't know what the hell I'm writing here? Just speak up, huh? Don't be shy. Ki, ठीक है, how it will looks like if I say ki no, I don't know. Just speak it up. Yes, no, I'm not saying enough thumbs up, so it's confusing me. Yes, no,
Rajesh, give a short explanation if that's okay.
but yes. So again, I appreciate this. At least speak out something like this. ठीक है, तो generics is basically it's a larger, vast concept. So essence to essentially put a generic classes does not need to specify any particular type. They can, they can deal with any type. For example, for example, if I take an example, let me see if I can get a scratch file. Uh, just give me a sec. Kotlin scratch file. Okay. Let's say let me just do something like this, print ln hello. I just want to check it whether the scratch files are working in my studio or not. It's not printing something, it seems. Well, hello equal to hello. It's working or not? I guess no. Okay, this is printed, but not this one. Maybe okay. So essentially, the generics are, let's say you have a class like let's call it a generic class. So what you can do is you can define your class as a generic class. So it does not need to only deal with a particular type. For example, without generic, let me show you without generics and with generics. So you have something like a string type. Okay, and then what you can do is you can have functions called pretty print. I'll just do it, and these functions will have a println like print value that will be of type string, or else sorry, yes, and it will print the value. Okay, sorry, print it has to be value. I mean variable of a class. It should be value. Okay, so I have the string type. I have another called int type. Int type, and my value type will be int. Type of this is int. Type of this is a string, right? And which is something I'm printing. So if I create a main functions, I will create it like this. Well, string type equal to string type, and then I need to provide a value that called, let's say, Rajesh. String type. Okay, like this. And int type me, I need to provide integer value like this. Int type me, I need to provide a value like this, and then I can print it. Okay. Now these classes are, tied to a particular type. It's tied to particular string, it's tied to particular integer. Now this does not scale. Sorry, this does not scale when you don't know the type of the variable, or you want to make it generic. Generic matlab it's a very generic, right? So in this case, you can define a generic type like this, and you specify its type t. Okay, and then you can have functions like pretty print, and it will print the value. तो ये class जो है इसका type हो गया t, तो उसकी value का भी type हो जाएगा t, and what you gonna do is gonna print this value. So what you can do is you can have generic int type. तो यहाँ पर आप क्या कर सकते हो, यहाँ this see this value is a type t, and t means the generic type. तो इसको बोल सकते हो कि अगर आपको string पास करनी है तो you need to pass string like this, and अगर आपको sorry this is a generic string type and this is generic int type. तो अगर आप टाइप इसका int बोल दोगे तो you need to pass integer. So same function, same class, different types of data. Generics allows this. Same function, same class, but you can pass entirely different type of a data. Clear? Generics? I guess it should be now. Okay. So this is what the generics does. And यहाँ पर yeah, you can type the report. Plus generics में you can provide the upper bound as well. So I want to say कि whatever my type T is, that should implement the report. Okay, or that at least extend the report class. Okay, तो ये मैंने क्या कर दिया, upper bound decide कर दिया. अभी जो ये CSV formatter है, यहाँ पर I need to specify my generic type. तो let's say यहाँ पर I say कि I am expecting a report type. PDF में I say कि I am expecting a report type. यहाँ पर I can say कि I am expecting the special report type. Yes. So you see, इसका जो format functions है, वो automatically converted to accept the special report type. And since the special report type is a report type only, that's why it's expected. अगर इसको मैं हटा दूं, तो this will give an error, because यहाँ पर मैंने बोला है I said कि my type should extend the report. तो अगर ये extend इसको नहीं करेगा तो error आएगी, अगर करेगा extend तो you will get an error. तो ये अभी देखो compile time checking हो गया. अभी compile time पे ही जब आप इसका instance बनाओगे तो you can only pass special report. You cannot pass regular report here. Okay, so this could be the third way to solve the list code substitution. Make sense? Clear हो रहा है? What we did? Three things: either do not confirm it. Second things is, be explicit कि okay, I will only process this, or else you want to compile time safety, you can go with the generics as well like this. ठीक है? And बाकी इसको मतलब accordingly आप कर सकते हो format. So this is how you can do it. How you can handle the list code substitution. Okay. ठीक है? तो what remains is the last things. ठीक है, let me now revert to the previous one. Why this is giving me an error? अच्छा, okay. ठीक है, I'm removing these things. I'll keep it for your reference, but removing it from here. ठीक है, तो this is the things and this is the things, and यहाँ पर भी I can do something like this. I can have like this, and then I will revert to these things. तो इसको मैं कर देता हूँ comment. ठीक है, this is, तो इसको solve करेंगे ऐसे. Now what remains is list code done, segregation done, dependency inversion done, open close done, and बचा क्या? Single responsibility. ठीक है, तो अब आते हैं यहाँ पर. कहाँ पर report generator? This. ठीक है, यहाँ पर आते हैं कि we are here. Report dot copy, हाँ copy नहीं होगा क्योंकि it's a data class. You see why this copy method is gone? Because it's no longer a data class, right? So I need to create another report from it, and then content would be basically the same things. So यहाँ से I'll do like this and this. अच्छा, I need to pass a title as well, equal to report dot title. तो अब ये नहीं चलेगा because it's no longer a data class. I need to create a new report. ठीक है, तो अभी आते हैं यहाँ पर. What remains is single responsibility. This class is having a whole lot of responsibility, and which we need to fix. Okay, which we need to fix. तो इसने क्या किया? I mean, see what's happening. It has a generate report function. Okay, so it what it does, it fetch the data. So डेटा का फेचिंग भी यहाँ पर ही हो रहा है. If any logic change into data fetching, this class needs to be changed. Then this formatting, that is your business logic, right? So if the business logic change, this class needs to be changed. मतलब अभी अपन ने उसको बाहर तो कर दिया फॉर्मेटर के थ्रू, बट ये कोड भी यहाँ पर पड़ा है. परसिस्टिंग कहा गया प्रिंट, यस. सो प्रिंटिंग हो रहा था, उसको भी अपन ने निकाल दिया. एंड सेविंग टू फाइल्स, तो ये जो सेविंग वाला लॉजिक था वो भी यहाँ पर यूज हो रहा है. तो इवन वी कैन एक्सट्रैक्ट दिस आउट. ठीक है. तो इस क्लास को कैसे रिफैक्टर करेंगे? ठीक है. तो उसके लिए व्हाट आई एम गोना डू इज, सबसे पहले क्या हो रहा है, फेचिंग, रिपोर्ट फेचिंग का काम हो रहा है. ठीक है. तो उसके लिए एक क्लास बना देते हैं यहाँ पर, फेचर, कॉल्ड रिपोर्ट फेचर. एक इंटरफेस बना देते हैं रिपोर्ट फेचर, एंड उसमें फंक्शंस दे देते हैं कि फेच रिपोर्ट, एंड व्हाट दिस विल डू इज इट विल फेच द रिपोर्ट. अब आएगा उसका कॉन्क्रीट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. लेट मी प्रेस दिस इम्प्लीमेंट इंटरफेस एंड डू दिस. ठीक है. अच्छा, इसको बाहर नहीं रखना है, आई जस्ट वांट टू हैव इट हियर. जस्ट अ सेकंड. ठीक है. तो दिस इज माय इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. तो यहाँ पर मैं क्या करूंगा, आई राइट द फेचिंग रिलेटेड थिंग्स हियर. ओके. तो यहाँ पर भी डेटाबेस देना पड़ेगा, तो डेटाबेस में दे दूंगा, आई गिव द डेटाबेस फ्रॉम हियर. डेटाबेस इज गिवन, नाइस, सॉर्टेड, राइट. तो ये इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो गया अपना. तो अगेन दिस इज इंटरफेस एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. तो फेचर अपन दे सकते हैं यहाँ से. तो ये जो पूरा का पूरा फेचिंग था ना, वो ये क्लास में चला गया. तो आई कैन आई कैन पास दिस इंटरफेस समथिंग लाइक अ प्राइवेट वेल रिपोर्ट फेचर. ओके. तो ये जो फेचिंग वाला था, तो दिस विल बी सिंपली, सॉरी, this will be simply replaced with well report equal to report fetcher dot fetch report. तो इसका काम खत्म हुआ. ये अपन ने यहाँ से हटा दिया. ये कहाँ घुस गया, इधर. ठीक है. तो एंड रिपोर्ट फेचर भी अपन बाहर से ले रहे. तो ये काम खत्म हुआ. बाकी क्या बचा, फॉर्मेटर का. ठीक है, दिस फॉर्मेटिंग. तो लेट्स उसको भी फॉर्मेट में बाहर ले जाते हैं. आई मीन इसकी जरूरत नहीं है इन सब की. So we can just pass formatter. एक मिनट. See, let me see what logic is being applied. फैक्ट्री बना रहे हैं अपन, एंड उसका एक उसमें से फॉर्मेटर ले रहे हैं रिपोर्ट का टाइप का. तो ये टाइप कहाँ से आ रहा है अपन को, जनरेट रिपोर्ट पे टाइप आ रहा है. ठीक है. तो रिपोर्ट फॉर्मेटर का एक आई एम इम्प्लीमेंट, अच्छा नहीं, ये तो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ही है. एक सेकेंड ना, लेट मी, आई एम थिंकिंग थ्रू कि इसको कैसे एक्सट्रैक्ट करूं. तो फैक्ट्री इज देयर, रिपोर्ट फॉर्मेट फैक्ट्री, एंड then there is this formatter. So, जब, तो आई गेस व्हाट दिस नीड्स टू डू, फॉर्मेटर डॉट फॉर्मेट. तो इसके लिए मैटर क्या करता है, यही करता है, राइट. तो आई गेस वी कैन ऑल्सो टेक अ फॉर्मेटर. तो लेट्स से कि प्राइवेट वेल रिपोर्ट फॉर्मेटर. तो instead of having these functions, what we're gonna do is report formatter dot format, and उसको टाइप दे देंगे. ठीक है. तो ये भी हो गया redundant. This is no longer required. Okay. क्योंकि इसका रोल अपन को सिर्फ करना है orchestrator कि it provides this functionality. देन फाइनली क्या था, सेविंग का. ठीक है. तो सेविंग का भी अपन एक इंटरफेस बना लेते हैं रिपोर्ट सेवर करके, लाइक रिपोर्ट सेवर. interface, and then we can have functions called save report. Okay, we can have a file, and we can have data. मैं जो जो उसका existing था उसको ही रख रहा हूँ ऐसे like this. तो इसका implementation बनाओ if I like this report saver IMPL. तो यहाँ पर I need to implement the report saver and I need to implement the members. तो यहाँ पर I will do this thing. Okay, it will save to file. तो क्या कर लूंगा मैं, I will accept the saver as well. ठीक है, तो प्राइवेट वेल रिपोर्ट सेवर लाइक दिस, एंड क्या करेगा ये सेवर, सॉरी फॉर्मेटर में क्या है, अच्छा रिपोर्ट जाना चाहिए, यस रिपोर्ट, ठीक है, तो सेवर रिपोर्ट सेवर डॉट सेव रिपोर्ट, ठीक है, तो ये भी हटा दिया गया, तो इवन दिस इज गॉन, ठीक है, तो एवरीथिंग इज गॉन, राइट नाउ दिस क्लास एक्ट एज अ ऑर्केस्ट्रेटर, क्या स्पेलिंग होता है ऑर्केस्ट्रेटर ठीक है, इट एक्ट एज अ ऑर्केस्ट्रेटर, तो मतलब ये क्या करता है, दिस क्लास ओनली ऑर्केस्ट्रेट द थिंग्स, ये जो क्लास की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है अभी अपन ने मूव कर दी हर डिफरेंट स्पेसिस पे, ठीक है, तो इट ओनली ग्रैब्स द डेटा एंड इट जनरेट्स दिस एंड देन सेव्स द रिपोर्ट, तो ये जो रिपोर्ट जनरेटर में, मतलब अगर इसको भी यहाँ से अगर निकालना हो तो निकाल सकते हो, बट अगर इसको ऑर्केस्ट्रेटर भी बनाना हो तो दिस थिंग्स यू कैन डू। अब बिजनेस लॉजिक होगा, डेटा चेंज होगा, फॉर्मेटिंग रूल चेंज होगा, सेविंग रूल चेंज होगा, किसी का भी इस पे इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा, ठीक है, क्योंकि सबका अपना अपना इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है, ठीक है, तो दिस इज हाउ यू हैंडल दीज थिंग्स एज वेल, बट फिर आप इसको जहां बना रहे हो वहां से आपको अप्रोप्रिएट वैल्यूज देनी पड़ेगी, कहां पर बना रहे हैं, होम स्क्रीन पे, राइट, तो अगर मैं इसका एक व्यू मॉडल बना दूं, and in the view model I write a functions called generate report, I'll simply call it, and इसका ये सब मैं वहां पर कर देता हूँ view model dot generate report like this, ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर आई कैन डू इट, यहाँ पर मुझे क्या देना पड़ेगा रिपोर्ट जनरेटर को, एक तो रिपोर्ट फेचर देना पड़ेगा, तो वेल रिपोर्ट फेचर इज समथिंग आई कैन डू रिपोर्ट फेचर IMPL, ठीक है, उसको देना पड़ेगा मुझे डेटाबेस, तो ये मेरा फेचर हो गया, व्हाट एल्स आई नीड, रिपोर्ट फेचर के बाद फॉर्मेटर, राइट, तो आई नीड रिपोर्ट फॉर्मेटर, रिपोर्ट फॉर्मेटर, सॉरी रिपोर्ट फॉर्मेटर फैक्ट्री डॉट, फैक्ट्री से मैं निकालूंगा फैक्ट्री डॉट गेट फॉर्मेटर टाइप, तो जो भी टाइप का मुझे बेसिकली I can pass the type here and I can simply pass that type here, तो यहाँ से मुझे जो भी टाइप देना है, रिपोर्ट टाइप इक्वल टू रिपोर्ट टाइप डॉट CSV या तो whatever, ठीक है, I'll simply pass it, तो ये मेरा फॉर्मेटर बन गया। तीसरा the first things is a fetcher, तो let's pass fetcher, then pass formatter and then बचता है सेवर, ठीक है, रिपोर्ट सेवर, उसका भी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन दे देते हैं इसको, ठीक है, दिस इज डन एंड देन वी विल प्रोवाइड्स द जनरेट रिपोर्ट, ठीक है, विल प्रोवाइड द जनरेट रिपोर्ट, एंड कहाँ पर जनरेट करना है उसको फाइल्स देनी पड़ेगी, तो कंटेक्स्ट तो यहाँ पर आई गेस लेट्स inject the context as well, private well context, and I will use application context from the hilt, okay, so this won't leak the memory, context dot files directory and this, ठीक है, तो दिस इज हाउ यू डू इट, तो इसको बोल दिया इंस्टेंस बनाया, समथिंग लाइक लेट्स से कि वेल रिपोर्ट जनरेटर इक्वल टू दिस एंड देन रिपोर्ट जनरेटर डॉट जनरेट रिपोर्ट, ठीक है, तो दिस इज सम थिंग्स वी कैन डू, जनरेटर बना दिया एंड देन वी कैन कॉल इट एंड देन वी कैन specify whatever type you want to process, ठीक है, तो सॉरी, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग इज स्टॉप। तो दिस इज हाउ यू एक्चुअली डू इट। ठीक है, एट फर्स्ट इट माइट सीम्स लाइक कि देयर इज अ होल लॉट ऑफ क्लास। पहले तो एक ही क्लास में हो रहा था, अच्छा था, सिंपल था। नाउ देयर इज अ होल लॉट ऑफ क्लास। ये मुझे भी हुआ था व्हेन आई वाज आई वाज डूइंग दिस काइंड्स ऑफ थिंग्स। तो आई थॉट कि आई मीन व्हाई टू डू दिस थिंग्स, ये काफी ज्यादा है ये। बट वंस यू यूज टू इट, देन इट रियली फील्स सिंपल, प्लस इट इज स्केलेबल एज वेल। ठीक है, अभी मान लो मुझे जैसे कि show some examples. If you want to change the database logic, I don't need to do anything in the generation. I can just change into the actual database logic. I if I want to change the formatting or save the report type, so I can simply go and change the appropriate logic. तो इसमें भी सिंगल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। देखो, इसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या हो गई, सिर्फ सेव करने की। इसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या हो गई, फेच करने की। इसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या हो गई, फॉर्मेट करने की। एंड इन तीनों को ऑर्केस्ट्रेट करके अपन ने यहाँ पर दे दिया। तो इससे अब इसके इंटरनल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। ठीक है, मेक सेंस कि व्हाट वी डिड, वी जस्ट टूक अ प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल्स एंड वी ट्राई टू रिफैक्टर इट अकॉर्डिंग टू द सॉलिड कोड बेस। तो क्लास डेफिनेटली ज्यादा हो गए, क्लासेस इन इंटरफेस, बट इट्स ऑल वर्थ इट व्हेन यू get used to it, because it really helps you to extend your code, and it really helps to uh, understand the code as well. ये code मेरे ख्याल से ज्यादा understandable होगा rather than I make a fat report generator class and have everything inside it. So clear, make sense? It provides any value or no, or we just we were doing some random things? Any questions? I guess we are good for the questions. Yes, Shubham, yes.
सो बेसिकली अभी हम यहाँ पे बिजनेस लॉजिक में ये सॉलिड प्रिंसिपल लगा रहे हैं. सो डू वी डू द सेम फॉर द लाइक प्रेजेंटेशन और यूआई लेयर?
uh yes, it applies to anywhere. It applies to anywhere. मतलब solids are generic principles, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ business projects में ही हो, वो UI पे भी हो सकता है। कैसे, मान लो, let's say let me show you. Let's say you have this main activity, okay, and this main activity has, you want to show what happens, someone wants to join. Let me add this guy. It's taken time. Okay, ठीक है, तो in the activity you do some things like you fill this activity with a whole lot of a code. You have some context related extension, you add it here. You have some dialogues related extensions, you add it here. You have some theme related things, you add it here. So that is what violations of solid principle. The first thing, single responsibility. एक्टिविटी की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या है, उसका यूआई दिखाना है, उसके रिगार्डिंग जो भी है वो to show it. If you are adding the theme related code and dialogues and context and all these things here, so that becomes your fate activity. तो वायोलेशन किसका हो गया, सिंगल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का। ठीक है, तो ये यूआई लेयर पे भी इट्स एप्लीकेबल। ओके,
What about other principles?
what about other principles? तो I mean it applies as and when you violate it. For example, ये सिंगल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हो गई, ये लाइक इंटरफेस सेग्रीगेशन हो गया कि 1 सेकेंड, हाँ, तो ये इंटरफेस सेग्रीगेशंस भी यहाँ पर एप्लीकेबल है। मान लो कि व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इन द एक्टिविटी, यू आर इंजेक्टिंग द व्यू मॉडल। ठीक है, तो यूजुअली लोग ऐसा नहीं करते, मतलब व्हाट दे डू इज दे जस्ट क्रिएट अ व्यू मॉडल। बट हम जैसे काम करते हैं, लाइक इट्स अ लार्ज स्केल थिंग, तो what we do is even our view models are interfaces. ओके, तो मतलब पर्टिकुलरली हम जैसे काम करते हैं हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में, तो इवन आवर वीएम्स आर इंटरफेसेस। उसको एक्चुअल क्लास जो होते हैं वो व्यू मॉडल्स होते हैं, बट वो उसके इंटरफेस होते हैं, एंड जो यूआई होता है वो इंटरफेस पे डिपेंड रहता है। तो इफ आई वांट टू पास मुझे मान लो कि if I want to do the UI testing, unit testing को भूल जाओ because it's a UI, right? Activity is UI. If I in the UI testing, I want to have my view model behave in such a way that I want to send some test data. तो अगर मैं व्यू मॉडल के डायरेक्ट इंस्टेंस पे डिपेंडेंट रहूंगा लाइक दिस ये कॉन्क्रीट इंस्टेंस पे, तो आई वोंट बी एबल टू डू यूआई टेस्टिंग प्रॉपरली। तो जो मेरा व्यू मॉडल का जो इंटरफेस एक्सपोज है वो इंजेक्ट होगा एक्टिविटी में, एंड टेस्टिंग में आई कैन इंजेक्ट द टेस्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, सो आई कैन प्रॉपरली पास अ टेस्ट डेटा फ्रॉम द व्यू मॉडल एंड देन आई कैन प्रॉपरली डू द यूआई टेस्टिंग। मतलब हम स्नैपशॉट टेस्टिंग यूज करते हैं, तो वहां पर आपका इंटरफेस सॉरी आपका डिपेंडेंसी इन्वर्जन वाला भी चीज आ गया। ओके, एंड इंटरफेस सेग्रीगेशंस भी तो आप कर सकते हो, मतलब आप इफ यू प्रोवाइड्स योर इंटरफेस इज हियर, आपकी एक्टिविटी को इंटरफेस को कंफर्म करती है, एंड अगर इफ दिस इंटरफेस इज लार्ज इनफ यू कैन ब्रेक इट डाउन, तो ये भी आपका ब्रेक होने से बच जाएगा। ठीक है, 3 एग्जांपल्स मैंने दे दिए, तो आई मीन द टू से इज इट अप्लाइज एवरीवेयर। कि व्यू मॉडल वाला ऊपर से गया ऐसा कुछ था?
नहीं, समझ आ कि बेसिकली हम लोग डिफरेंट इंटरफेसेस बना सकते हैं व्यू मॉडल के अंदर, और एक पर्टिकुलर ऑब्जर्वर होगा हमारे यूआई में, वो ऑब्जर्व कर लेगा उनको, तो वो दैट इज बेसिकली इंटरफेस सेग्रीगेशन कर देगा।
यस, बेसिकली नहीं, डिपेंडेंसी इन्वर्जन था वो। बेसिकली हम बोल रहे हैं कि मान लो मैं इसे बोल रहा हूँ होम व्यू मॉडल टाइप, होम व्यू मॉडल टाइप, व्हाट आई एम डूइंग, आई एम बाइंडिंग दिस टाइप इनटू द एक्टिविटी। यहाँ पर मैं इस टाइप को
Not
बाइंड
sharing.
करूँ, सॉरी वन सेक, आई विल बाइंड दिस टाइप इनटू दिस एक्टिविटी। तो ये जो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है दैट इज रियल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन। टेस्टिंग का मेरा जो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होगा, टेस्ट व्यू मॉडल, टेस्ट व्यू मॉडल लाइक दिस, तो वो खुद व्यू मॉडल नहीं होगा, राइट, बिकॉज टेस्टिंग में इसकी जरूरत नहीं है, बट ये तो होगा। एंड माय एक्टिविटी डज नॉट से कि है गिव मी व्यू मॉडल, इट सेज कि गिव मी होम व्यू मॉडल टाइप। तो आई विल स्टिल बी एबल टू सेंड दिस विथ टेस्ट डेटा, बट वो जो मेरी एक्टिविटी में जाएगा आई विल पास अ टेस्ट डेटा। तो आई विल पास दिस, तो कौन सा हुआ, डिपेंडेंसी इन्वर्जन वाला। डू नॉट डिपेंड्स ऑन द कॉन्क्रीट टाइप्स, रादर डिपेंड ऑन अ सब एब्स्ट्रैक्शन और contracts. So this is what I was saying. Okay, makes sense. Cool. Any more questions on anything? On the
Yes,
side?
Rajesh.
Yes, please.
Yeah, till what level should we separate everything? Like, what should be the limit?
Sky is the limit. Okay, so to what level it should separate? So there is no golden rules ki theek hai only separate up to this. So the separation is separate it till it makes sense. Like अगर मेरा एक क्लास है fetcher and it makes sense कि मैं यहाँ पर 2 operations are related, मैं fetch कर रहा हूँ पहले तो नेटवर्क से उसको सेव कर रहा हूँ एंड डीबी से फेच कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। तो ये जो फेचर है, तो इट माइट बी पॉसिबल कि योर फेचर इज अ कंप्लीट वन फेचर एंड यू आर बिल्डिंग ऑफलाइन फर्स्ट स्टेप, तो फेचर विल फेच फ्रॉम द नेटवर्क, सेव टू डीबी, एंड देन फ्रॉम फेच फ्रॉम द डीबी। तो ये दोनों ऑपरेशन है, दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ रिलेटेड है, राइट। तो एज लॉन्ग एज इट मेक्स सेंस दे आर रिलेटेड विथ ईच अदर, तो यू कैन हैव देम इनसाइड हियर। but as long as they are unrelated, like formatting का and database से लेने का कोई मत सेंस नहीं बनता, राइट। तो इसलिए वो अलग, फिर फॉर्मेटिंग का और सेव करने का भी कोई सेंस नहीं बनता, इसलिए ये तीनों अलग है अभी यहाँ पे। तो as long as they are logically related with each other, you can have them in a single thing.
Understood. Thanks.
Okay? Cool. Someone is sending more memes, it seems. Solid. Cool. ठीक है, nice. Any more questions?
Yeah, just a small quick question. Like we were using the names like factory, IMPL, and all these things, right? Like, how can we understand? Like, I mean, bit confused about the naming sometimes, so that's what just wanted to ask.
Okay, cool. So let's first talk on this part. So there is no universal standard. People do what they likes. The one way of we know this is interface and implementation based pattern. The one way people names the things are interface name is the actual name and the implementation name is appended with IMPL. So it conveys ki it's a implementation of this interface. So this is one method. Another method is what people do is they provide the implementation like something like a interface test, and then this is the implementation test this. So another way of this is one way. Another way of the naming is people append the I before the interface. So it becomes I test, and then your actual class becomes your test, which implements the I test. So this is another way of dealing with these things. There is no golden rules. Keep everyone should do these things. Nothing like that. Personally, I prefer this way because see.
Yeah, even I saw like most of the people are using IMPL and factory, these kind of labels only. So is there any ground rule? I thought. And also one more question, like, so when we are reviewing some code, so how can we verify this solid principle? So when it comes to a single responsibility that we can identify easily, but when it comes to the rest of the things, it would be a bit difficult doing while doing the code review, no? So how can we easily do that?
So I think to do these things, what we will need as a developer is more and more practice with the solid things because everything is a pattern. So if you do practice more, that means you start understanding the patterns in these things. The pattern was there key, we were using a CSV and all these things here. So
Yes.
once you grab the pattern, that means you will realize ki, okay, if something comes up, then this will break. So the whole idea is to start realizing the patterns, and this practice will uh, help you more in the code reviews. And realizing the patterns comes from practicing more.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Any more questions? And this factory is specifically the things you were asking is factory is usually added when you are building a factory design patterns. So we have seen a factory, it means you have something like this. So when you have a class which hides the implementation, you give, sorry, let me reshare it. The simple concept behind is you give some type, the implementation is hidden from you and you get something. ठीक है तो काफी सारी फैक्ट्रीज है जैसे कि आई मीन इफ यू सी दिस स्टैंडर्ड थिंग्स सॉरी व्यू मॉडल फैक्ट्री राइट यू इवन द सॉरी ये तो डेगर की फैक्ट्री है बट व्यू मॉडल वेयर इज दिस व्यू मॉडल this view model has factory view model provider dot factory. So what this factory does, it creates a view model. How does it creates a view model? That implementation is hidden. You give it a class and it gives you the actual implementation. Okay, so the implementation is hidden. Default view model provider factory. So implementation is hidden. In such case, it is appended with factory. When you are building the factory using the factory design pattern. Okay, next question is from Ashish. Yes, please.
So we don't have to do dependency injection for the factory, right?
You don't have to do the dependency injection for the factory. Yes. So factories are meant to be, factories are meant to be classes that you give them some things and they give you something. So usually for the factories, you don't do the dependency injection. Even अगर यहाँ पर भी आप देखो ना तो view model provider dot factory. I mean, there is some factory, right? You need to create a implementation of it. So you usually don't inject it somewhere. Wherever you need it, you just grab the instance and then you pass it. You don't inject it. Okay, इसका implementation कहाँ पर है भाई? Default view model provider. It's internal. But yes, to say answer your questions, what I have seen the pattern is factories are usually not injected. You can use it as at a call site. Cool. Any more questions related to session? Anything more? I guess no. So I think we are good to wind up the session, and then next session we will see probably this clean architecture related thing. What is the clean architectures and all, and we'll try to set up our navigation. We'll try to have multi-module app kinds of things. Modules won't be complex. Our focus will be on a navigation, so we'll focus on that part.